Woo!
Fabulous
Yay.
job,
Thank
Ethan.
you.
Great job. All right, you can go ahead and go.
Yeah, adios.
I'm not on this week?
Well, last time I
Is it-
checked, I don't think you were a mom.
Yeah, we only let people
Next
on.
week, right?
Next week.
Yeah, we'll
I
catch you next
guarantee.
time.
Maybe even the
Alright.
Father's Day edition, but not.
Say so.
All right.
Really?
See ya.
All right, gamers.
Welcome back to the
BM&W
BM&W podcast.
Today is a very
Podcast.
Today's a very, 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 very special episode.
Why? Because
Because we have both of our mothers on the podcast.
Mom.
Say hi, moms.
It's Mother's Day.
Hi.
hello. If it were not for us, this would not be possible.
Yeah, some say that might have been,
Huh? It's
Yeah,
hugging.
you know.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. So we may have a few
Frozen.
technical difficulties.
Oh.
But
Oh wait, I think they're back.
vibes.
Wow, this is starting so
The
great.
universe
So,
does
I
not
am-
want y'all to have
Can
guest
you-
stars.
This is going great.
Doing a podcast under quarantine conditions.
It's not ideal. Let's just say that. This is not how we thought we'd be spending Mother's Day podcast. We thought we'd be all huddled around Elliot's one mic, and that's how we thought we were gonna spend today. But no. So, both of us have our mothers here with us. So, Bichelle, would you like to say hi? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello. Let's see. I wasn't prepared, but my name is Michelle McNeil. I am in my late 40s. I have 3 children, which qualifies me for Mother's Day podcast. I am a sewist. I'm a maker, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. I love to nap between the hours of 9:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m.
Epic.
I have a meme account.
And her memes are
I
so
have
good.
almost a 1,200-day Snapchat streak with one of my friends.
We can only dream.
So yeah, I'm one of those
She's a cool
moms
mom.
who really out there trying to be extra. So
Bim and I have a 77-day Snapchat streak, so look
That's
out.
very
We
impressive.
have a little bit of competition here.
You and who?
Me.
You and Bim?
Yeah.
Did I say Emily?
She breaks ours all the time.
Wait,
Emily
that's less
has
than a
issues.
year. Way less than a year.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at Snapchat streaks.
You're on to the next.
Usually our streaks
technology.
consist of us just like taking random pictures throughout the day.
Oh my goodness!
Well, I
Yesterday,
mean, that's what Snapchat.
I know, but
streaks
like
are.
ours are just like pictures of our face.
yesterday
Just-
I sent Bim like 50 videos on on a classified
Yeah.
topic. But okay, so I have my mom here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I am Jennifer. I am mother of Charlotte and 2 other children, which they don't do podcasts, so we're not going to talk about them.
Yeah, they're the star of the show.
There you go.
Yes. So, oh gosh, I do like naps, but more so, I'm too close to the mic. More so between the hours, I would say, of 12 and 2. And unfortunately, I'm one of those people that if I can't get at least an hour to an hour and a half nap, then it's not worth it to me. So yeah, so
I
I
support you all the way. So
and
basically, we can't talk until after 3:00 every day.
exactly, yes, especially during this quarantine.
Facts.
I also have my grandma here. Would you like to say hi?
Hi,
She's back here. She's having
I'm
a
back
blast.
here.
That's my mom.
Yeah.
We have 3 generations here.
Yes.
Yeah, so beat that big Neo family.
But she's yelling because she's 6 feet away.
Well,
Sorry about that.
Yes, so Bim and I, we have a few questions prepared, but also we didn't really prepare anything because we're not good at podcasting. So, like,
none of our podcasts are prepared at all.
the most we prepared for a podcast was the Star Wars one.
You had to watch
Yeah.
27 hours
Yeah,
worth
and
of film.
I wouldn't say that was bad, I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
But yes, so we have a few questions. But yeah, would you like to say something, Ben? I've talked a lot.
I don't know. I'm excited. Should I ask the first question?
Yeah, but I just want to say this is so weird to do a podcast where it's not just Bim and I.
I know, because it's weird to expose how, unprofessional we are about it, the whole setting up process, and,
Yeah, our setting up process is one of us FaceTimes the other, and we're like, Bethan, come here.
yeah,
And then we just start, and that's it.
mm-hmm. So it's interesting. I like it, though.
Yeah, it's very fun.
It's a good experience.
It's very...
Yeah.
Yes, and it is good for me because I do have a podcast interview on Monday
practicing
for a podcast.
Oh,
Yes.
whoa.
So if I get on that podcast, I'll link
Famous.
this podcast, and I'll never get asked for another podcast.
Honestly,
Yes, plug.
before we start, I always say that. I always say, before we start, I have something
You're
stupid
5 minutes
to say. Before we start the podcast, while we're 6 minutes into the podcast, I want to talk about the dissertation Garrett left in the comments of our last podcast.
Yes, all of you need to go back and revisit the Star Wars podcast.
Yeah, last week's
and
podcast.
go on YouTube to see the comments that I think my son could get college credit for roasting both Emily and Charlotte.
I honestly loved it. And
he put a lot of time, effort,
So
thought.
much.
He's very thoughtful, and he listened to your points, and then
yes,
he disputed them.
he threw him out of the
But
water.
but I have an important question. Did he watch the Christmas episode? Because I don't feel like he can have opinions.
Oh, he's watched everything.
Because
He's
where
listened.
would it fall?
I don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, because once you watch the Christmas special, you get an idea of what a bad Star Wars movie can look like, and then it gives you a newfound
Exactly.
appreciation for everything else you watch. So he needs to check his privilege.
Facts.
All right, I think we're finally ready to start.
Yeah.
So, would you like to ask the first question, Bim? Because I don't know what the first question is.
I don't know either. We were thinking of I think my dad had this idea where each of the moms discuss what made a moment in our lives that made them most disappointed in us and most proud.
I have a good answer for disappointed.
Oh. Go ahead.
Now, Emily is 17, almost 18, she pointed out at dinner today, lunch, but I'm going to go back to when she was 3. So I took all 3 of my small children under 3 shopping. I felt like I could leave Emily unsupervised in the store. Boy, I was wrong. After we left the store, I took them to Chick-fil-A to play because that's what moms did. I was helping my 3-year-old in the restroom, and all of a sudden, sparkly buttons fall out of her underwear. She came up to me when we were shopping and asked, "Hey, Mom, can you buy these for me?" And I said, "No, babe, I don't think so." Well, she stole them instead. She felt like it was okay for her to put these down her pants. I discovered them. I was so angry. I took them immediately back to the store and put the buttons, which by the way were a biohazard, and they should have thrown them away. She had them in her pants. So I explained what happened. I said, "I'm so sorry. If you have video footage, you're going to see my child putting these buttons down her pants." I expected the lady to just unload on her. Instead, she goes, "Oh, you are so sweet for coming back and apologizing. Look how precious you are." No. But hopefully the threat of a kitty juvenile was enough for Emily to remember this for the rest of her life. and not steal things. But we'll see. She's only 17.
I was frightened because all on the whole car ride back to back from Chick-fil-A, my mom was talking about how like they could arrest me for this, and how like stealing is like a sin and it's a crime and I'm gonna like go to jail, and I was so scared. I thought I was terrified, and I will never steal again. I never want to feel how I felt that day.
You did it, Bichelle. You really did it.
Yeah, I did.
You took a small
Hopefully
thing
it was an
and
example to the other two children as well.
Yes, Ben
yeah.
has told me that story so many times, and every single time it cracks me up so much. I think that is the funniest story.
Yeah, I was.
Fantastic story.
Yes.
All right, my
All right,
mom,
Jen, I can't wait.
I know. I'm struggling. I'm literally struggling to
my mom
find.
and my grandma have been discussing what they think is the most disappointing moment, and I just want to point out that I have so many moments that disappoint them.
No, yeah. I was actually, yeah. We were doing the top 10
I doubt
thing.
it.
We have a whole podcast
Oh my
dedicated to the
gosh.
stupid things I have done.
No, honestly, I'm struggling. But of course, Gigi comes to the rescue with potty training.
Uh-oh.
How frustrating potty training
Is
was
this
with
gonna
you.
get nasty?
Well, no, and I'm medical, so it's okay. I can go
Yeah,
all
because
day
you
with
think
that.
I'm not medical.
So yeah, she had a very strong. Okay, so very early on, especially in the womb, I would be woken up at 4 a.m. with like acrobatics going on in my belly.
What can I
So
say?
and Charlotte is
Yeah, she's a dancer.
yeah, Charlotte is second born, so I'm comparing her to her brother. And it was completely different. She would wake me up in the middle of the night and completely do a flip and then go back to sleep. So she was just a night owl.
That's a Tuesday night for me nowadays.
So that, but when she was born, she was pretty chill.
I had
But
good vibes.
yeah, now I guess we've had this conversation. Did we have this conversation
No.
about how hard it was to potty train you because you were so obstinate?
No.
Yeah, I remember having this conversation with you. Okay, so
Yes, I'm
yeah,
just
she
stupid.
just would not go.
Was there a specific time when you were ultra angry that I just...
Oh, just frustrated. Or okay, so how about the pink dress episode?
Oh my god.
Is this what we?
You have
Okay,
to stop.
Gigi just texted
No,
that.
I
That
didn't.
oh, okay.
So I told this story for English because we had to tell a story from our past, and this story has been told to me a billion times because it highlights how frustrating I was to deal with as a child. So please proceed.
Oh, the pink dress.
The pink dress story.
Okay, so you were probably 2, okay, and on a whim, you know how Costco has Halloween costumes, and on a whim, Charlotte was in her princess stage, and I bought this pink princess costume for Halloween, and I don't even think you wore it for Halloween. I think it was a size 2T, so you were like 18 months or whatever. You may not have even worn it for Halloween, but
Probably not.
for at least 2 to 3 months, this was her uniform. She wore the Old Navy, hashtag not looking for endorsement, but whatever.
I mean, we could be.
Old Navy,
Old Navy, hit us up.
pink
I have pictures.
Facts.
taffeta with the crinoline underneath, which after about 3 weeks I had to cut out because it was all torn and hanging out the bottom. But every day that's what she would want to wear. So then there comes a time when you have lots of dirt, mud, food items, everything,
an
because you're
active
wearing
child,
it every day. You have to wash it, and you could only hand wash it. So I'm washing it in her bathtub with her, sobbing over the pink dress. And I had to offer her the blue Belle Sleeping Beauty dress, or what
I
was
know
the
what
blue?
you're talking
Okay, I had
about.
to offer her the blue dress, which would suffice until I had to have the other pink dress drip dry. And I got in trouble because I was the worst mom in the whole world because I had to actually wash the dress.
Yeah, you know what? I think the dirt just adds character. And
Can we also talk about the
Exactly.
time that I had to take Garrett to school and you refused to get dressed? And I brought you to school because I'm one of those moms. Okay, I have a full cart of groceries at Target, and if you act a fool, I'm gonna stop, leave the cart right there, because you have to say, if you do not stop acting like a fool and stop whining, we're leaving. And if they keep doing it, Michelle, are you with me? You got to follow through on your threat, right? Or else you lose the whole battle.
Word.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I say, Charlotte, it's time to drop your brother off, get dressed. And she did not like, and actually, this might have been at that time. This may have
I
been
think
when
this
when the
was.
dress was drip drying. And I'm like, Charlotte, it's winter. I cannot put you in a wet dress that's drip drying. We need to go. We need to go now, or we're going to be late. So she was in a diaper and a winter coat.
Wow.
And we went to a public
That's some
place.
hardcore. Yeah, that's some hardcore stuff.
That reminds me, when I was like 3, I had one shirt that I never took off.
Yeah.
It was like a rainbow shirt, and I still have it. It's in my drawer right now.
It probably still fits
She
her.
put it on the other day. It does. She put
It
it on the
fits.
other day, and it's like
half
a Teddy
shirt.
Fresh.
Oh my goodness! I
It's
know
like a
what shirt
Brandy
you're
Melville
talking
shirt.
It's like
about.
a Brandy
I know
Melville.
that
Yeah.
Wait,
Wait, this is the shirt?
No, it's a
okay.
different shirt. I know what you're talking about.
But
You
it's like a
showed this to me.
6X.
So,
And
Michelle, you're going to love
yeah,
this.
she put this on yesterday.
Oh, that's so
The other
cute.
day.
it has like marker on it and stuff.
Yeah,
just
she
adds
wore
character.
that. So, look
Yeah.
at the back.
Oh, the back is very messy. For the listeners, which is all of you, it's
All of you.
a children's place. It says
Children's
Rainbow
place.
Athletics.
I love it.
It's got a rainbow on it and has purple marker all over it.
So these girls have been connected since they were 2 because
Yeah.
they
What
both
can I say?
refused to change clothes.
And Michelle, you'll love
like
this
you
and
knew.
identify with this. The preschool teacher took a picture of Charlotte in her pink puffy coat and diaper only, in pigtails that were crazy, and she's crying. But she gave that picture to me. So I have photographic evidence, and actually that might be a great picture for the podcast little thingy for
Yeah.
this episode.
I mean,
Yeah.
you always gotta appease the fans. Like, if they want a picture, you
I mean,
gotta give them what they
this
want.
is an iconic picture. This could be an album picture of like a
You know what? If I come out with an album, which I won't, now we'll know. This is a great picture. All right, now
Exactly.
we're gonna
Wow.
flip the table. What is a moment that made you most proud?
proud. Okay, Michelle, you're up.
Proud.
Oh no, I'm gonna let you go, Jen.
Proud.
Can you not think
most
of it?
proud. I was gonna say I was gonna say Gigi. I thought Gigi was gonna say every day, which I would tend to agree with that. But so yeah, every day. So performance. So Charlotte, I don't know if she's talked very much about being a spectacular ballet performer. She's amazing, and so
She
I would have
is.
to say
Facts.
every one of her performances have been amazing. And you know, as a mom, you just live vicariously through those, because I would never be able to do some of the things that she does. It's truly amazing. But proud moments. Oh, yeah.
She's showing
Gigi's
me a
showing
picture
some
of me.
pictures of pictures of Charlotte as you know. She's 3.5 now. Miss Fran, who's her teacher currently, it only takes 4 and above. But at 3.5, she wanted to be a dancer, and she has done that. So
Everybody's
I
doing
would-
a plie except you.
Me. There's a picture of me that I have on my Instagram where, like, the teacher's like, okay, everyone do a plie, and everyone's in a plie except for me. And I'm the only one in that picture still doing ballet. So,
Oh, wow.
And then I would have to say, Michelle, and you might have the same moment, but when my daughter decided that she was going to become a Christian, that was a really proud moment for me. And
I
still
would have
is.
to agree.
yay! We forgot to mention if either of you
Yay,
cry,
Charlotte.
get kicked off.
What?
So-
No. Just saying a proud moment.
All right, Michelle, it's your turn.
Okay, so I I would have to say, and this is probably true for all three of my children up to this point, I don't know if you know, but we moved from another state that is way down
Down under.
down far
Where you have
away
supper?
and is totally another
have
country
supper?
called Texas.
Supper.
Yes, where we have supper.
Supper.
Called Texas. And so we moved when Emily was about to start her sophomore year, and it was a difficult time in her life because she had really bonded with friends and she had gone to the same schools her whole life. We lived in almost the same house for her whole life, and so it was kind of tricky. So the very first day of school, I remember crying because I was so proud of my kids because I knew they were going to have to walk into a brand new school where they knew no one, and they were going to have to approach lunch, and they were going to have to do lunch all by themselves because, they didn't know anyone. And so I remember that day when they came home, I was just so proud that they decided to conquer this new life that we were going to have with positivity and hope for the future. And it hasn't been the easiest for them, but almost 2 years later, they're making it. And Emily has 2 friends. So.
Wow.
Well, that's 2 more than when she came here.
Yeah.
I know.
It's 100%. 2 friends, 50-50.
No,
It'd be
But
like
those are
that.
good friends.
Yeah, Bim
They're
and I
like,
talked about this. She
Yes.
likes having a small group of people.
Yes, and I do too. My circle is small, and Emily is a lot like me. And sometimes it makes me sad about that because, I want her to be the life of the party, and I want her to get invited to everything, and I want her to, have a huge social life. And she's content with just hanging out with us and her couple friends. So I just hope that we didn't scar them emotionally for life by moving moving from Texas to Maryland.
no, I moved in 8th grade.
But we'll see.
I moved in 8th
Oh.
grade. So, but I have
That's
to say,
hard.
it definitely makes you stronger and it makes you resilient, which is what these kids need.
And I believe it, and I know that they can do whatever because they've done the hard things.
And they're going to
Emily
go to
can
college
do hard things
where they need to meet
Yeah.
everybody new.
Exactly. So that's it.
Wow.
So
That's so sweet.
thanks for being one of her 2 friends.
Yes, thank you.
That
Thank you
actually-
so much.
You're so welcome. But that actually leads us into our next question. And we want to know, how do you
What a great
think
segue.
us being friends with each other has changed us? So, since Bim and I have become friends, how do you think, Bim has changed us? Have I changed Bim's personality? Has Bim changed my personality? What do you guys think? Who wants to go first?
All right, Michelle, you're up.
All right. So I will say that since Charlotte and Bartlett and Bim have been friends, Emily is more like herself. She's able to be goofy. She doesn't take herself too seriously because she's found another friend who does not take herself too seriously. Even though both of these girls are super uber smart, they are talented, they have they're just phenomenal kids, but they don't focus on that. They focus on just being them, So I love that Charlotte has enabled Emily, and Emily's other friend also has
The other,
helped-
the other friend.
has helped her know that she has found her people and she can be comfortable. And so thanks, Charlotte. Thanks for being the other goofy girl. And you don't know this, Charlotte, but when we came to church for the first time, we saw y'all, and I said, Emily, there's a girl. She has long hair. She's gonna be your friend.
Yay!
But and I also said that about another long-haired girl in the church, but they know each
Yeah.
other. But you were the long-haired friend that it took a little while.
I remember that. I remember I was like,
I was like, Emily, see that girl? She's gonna be your friend.
I was like, Mom, it's
I know,
my
and she
first
was like,
day.
shh.
Yeah,
So,
No, but then you had your breakthrough with Annie.
Yes, I think
Annie, when you threw her down and
yes,
broke her
yes,
back.
and I.
Gosh.
Little known fact, I had to force Emily to try out for the fall show,
I'm
and
so
because she
glad
was
she
super
did.
active in
goes to
theater,
show,
her
Mom knows
her
best.
whole life, and she said, "No, I don't want to do it." Nah, nah, nah. And I said, "Too bad. Go try out." I literally had to force her, but look where she is now.
Whoa.
yeah.
And did I not have to force you?
Yeah, it was the day before I had signed up for auditions, and I didn't like have to go to the audition, but like what I had to fill out the online like resume and thing, and I just like didn't want to do it, and my mom was like, "No, you are going," and I was like, "Jeez."
Yeah.
Bichelle pulled out the pageant mom card.
Yes, she did.
Oh yeah, I did.
Dude, I have to say,
Oh yeah, I did.
Bichelle and pageant mom, they are two completely different people.
Oh yes.
The other week after Bim and I did the podcast, she went down and her mom was watching this pageant, and like she was pageant mom. Like she popped off.
Yeah, well, I was watching it with 6 or 7 of my pageant mom friends, so it is much easier to be ridiculous when you have.
Could we start a
company that's
TLC
ridiculous.
show, anti-pageant mom? The anti.
Yes,
the
I am the.
antithesis.
Yes, I'm the antithesis of a pageant mom, but I will say that my dad was a coach, and so I played softball my whole life, and I was super competitive, and I did not like to lose, and I didn't. And although my kids aren't super competitive in sports, Emily, when she decided she wanted to do pageants, I was like, well, let's go get them crowns. So
Let's
rock it.
If we're gonna do this, we're gonna
We're gonna win.
Can I get an
Exactly.
amen?
Where's the trophy?
I asked Emily at her first pageant, do you want me to buy you this crown? She said, no, I'm going to win one. And I was like,
Period.
let's
You
go.
tell me, sister.
There you go.
All right. Jen, you're up.
So I think that if you asked, I think my husband has a better saying, but during this whole quarantine thing, you guys have been sweet and you dropped off Sonic Ice to us. And when Emily came over, I guess she texted before she came, and Charlotte was getting all giddy and excited. Like she couldn't even contain her excitement. It was like bubbling over. It was crazy. It was like a tea kettle ready to explode. And then she came, and then it was like you can't hug each other because we're quarantined, and you Lysol'd everything, whatever. So my husband came up and he's like, have you ever seen Charlotte so excited to see somebody or to be with someone? She's like, he said, I'm so excited that they're friends. He's like, because Charlotte has become
That's so sweet.
it's like Charlotte has a very different personality than the regular teenage
That
girl.
means I'm weird.
And she's a little bit different.
Quirky.
She, she likes
Emily's
she likes
quirky.
theater. She's smart. She loves music. She and I just remember when she stopped playing sports, mostly because she had to dedicate most of her time to ballet. A lot of her sports friends kind of just sort of dumped her, and that was really, really hard, and it was sort of eye-opening for her. And I think being a theater kid and you just sort of get
Never call us a theater kid again.
I know, but
Never. We are always kids who do theater.
kids who do theater.
Kids who do theater.
And Charlotte, she spends, and when allowed to, like 6 hours a day in the studio practicing ballet. And I think that you sort of, that's where your group of friends is. And when you're in a small town, you don't have a ton of people, and she didn't have a lot of people. But so I think she finally found someone that is sisterly. And it definitely helps that you have the church thing as something that brings you guys
An
together.
added layer.
Yeah, being So yeah, I just the joy that I feel when Charlotte is just giddy overexcited, like bubbling over. She is like a memento. Okay, this is what you and Emily are. Charlotte's the memento and Emily's the Coke. Mento, whatever. Yeah, when you put the Mento in the Coke and then it just spews over, that's what happens when they're together.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
That is an accurate description. But maybe I kind of forced the issue because I did give Charlotte some Clover root beer.
Oh, yeah.
So I might have bribed her a little.
Clover Valley.
Yeah.
Clover Valley root
Clover
beer.
Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
So,
another
I mean,
hashtag.
I am orchestrating these. Dollar General, hello.
Honestly, like,
There you go.
please.
Yes. So this is funny because my husband went up to Dollar General and he's like, "Oh, do you need anything?" And I said, "Well, why don't you get some Clover Valley root beer because everybody loves it in our family." And I was like, "However, buy 3 12-packs
He has 3 in there.
and keep 2 in your car
What?
trunk and only put 1 out because they're so excited. They drink it all really fast."
That's funny.
Also,
That is funny.
RIP headphone users for that last part. We had 3 cases?
Possibly. I don't know. But you know, Michelle, when you go and okay, what do we need from the store? I don't know, just get good stuff. Well, what is good stuff? We want snacks. Okay, what snacks? And then they just said, I don't know, good stuff, good snacks. So then you bring home stuff and it's gone in 2 seconds. So
That's not me, that's
Yes.
the boys.
since it's Mother's Day, I will just tell you that my mother-in-law used to save half her groceries and put them in the trunk of her car because she had 3 sons that would eat all the ho-hos, the Debbie, whatever.
That's smart.
Debbie, whatever, the little Debbie
That's
things. and the
next
Fritos.
level
Yeah.
parenting.
Yep, that was, we were in quarantine and we divvy it out.
You gotta do what you gotta do. And
Yes.
sometimes, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Exactly.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Epic.
What's
Yeah.
next?
I don't know.
I don't.
That, like,
Oh
I
my
just like
gosh.
I reminded like we both have 2 brothers, so I don't that kind of like how do we compare to our brothers? Like
Yes.
I don't that's maybe a weird question, but
Yeah, like how.
the only girl.
Yes, only girl.
Oh no, so
Oh.
I definitely got my wish. So I had Garrett first, and then I was pregnant with Charlotte, and we found out we were having a girl, and then I was pregnant with Jake, but we didn't.
Jason.
Jake /
Jason.
Jason. So I was pregnant with Jake, and we didn't find out. We didn't want to know what it was, but I was secretly hoping it would be a boy because being second, that's hard. You're like the middle child, and so when Jake popped out, it was like, oh, that was perfect. It's perfect because Jake, likes Garrett and Charlotte likes Garrett. You both have your own relationships, and then thank goodness for quarantine because you and Jake have gotten to know
Yeah.
each other a little bit better. I was afraid once Garrett left for college next year.
I think it's just
The
because
other
Jake was
two.
too young. Because Emily and Elliot, they're the same distance apart as me and Jake, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're
Yes.
junior, 8th grade.
Yes.
They're same distance apart,
Mhm.
but they get along better because I think they're older than us. Elliot has. I don't want to assume your relationship, but you guys, what I've seen, get along better than Jake and I.
But now,
It's interesting. I don't know.
Because
Me and Elliot are very competitive against each other.
exactly, and
That's-
that's just everything, brother sister. Like, you can't really do anything about that. But it's just you guys get each other more, and it's just because you guys are old. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
It's because
I get it. Yeah.
Jake's
7th grade.
in 7th grade, Ellie's in 8th grade,
Yeah.
and you're.
Mhm.
So I think when they get older, they understand. Some things are annoying. They understand, what's annoying, what's not annoying, and that's kind of it. So Jake's growing up, and now he's becoming
Oh, he's
Funny.
getting all your TikTok references.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so Michelle,
Yeah.
have you noticed that the kids have like this entire language? I think it's a quarantine language. Because my parents came over and they're like, I don't understand. There's a lot of inside jokes here going on. I don't know. I can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, this is why I do Snapchat and Instagram, so I can.
We have
keep
to
up
stay
with, like,
relevant.
yeah, exactly.
We have a lot of Harry Potter related inside jokes now.
Kill the spare. It's not even
And then
mine, but I know it, and it's so funny.
Yeah, and bro, we have like definitely a language kind of between us. We have like bruh, boyo, the fishmonger. Like it's just a lot of stuff that I've tried to explain to Charlotte, but like I just can't do it because it's just the way that we talk. Like
Yeah.
I can't. How do you explain to someone what a boyo is? Because sometimes boyo can be a positive, just like hey boyo, or like sometimes you're calling them like as an insult. Like so, how do
Because
you?
I don't allow them to say stupid or hate.
Yeah, so we have to like.
So they've had to make their own language.
And so it's like
Oh, okay.
I don't know,
Wait,
it's
I need
interesting.
to institute this.
It's too late. Too late.
Poor
Yeah.
Jake. Poor Jake. We tell
what
him
was the
he's not as
question?
smart.
like how do we
Just
compare
'cause
it
he's
to like,
younger.
being the only girl?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing before we answer that question. I think you and Gigi were talking about, like, it's like they have a secret language, and I was like, try being in the Big Neil household for like 2 seconds. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, what are they talking about? Because one,
Oh, wait, is that why you texted me to come pick you up really quickly?
no. That's a joke. That's a joke. She was joking. No, it's just like, one, you guys are Southern. So that's one thing I don't understand.
We are south of the Mason-Dixon line, honey. We are considered Southern.
I hate to say it, I really do, but Maryland is not Southern. Two, they just have their own language. Like, they say something.
Because we're ridiculous.
Yeah. I remember once we were in the car on the way back from Mod Pizza, and then all of us, the car is silent.
Okay.
And then I go, King of the Hill? And then my dad's like, yeah, sure. And so then Ethan puts King of the Hill on the TV in the car, and we're singing the theme song, and Charlotte is so confused.
And Charlotte,
What
I'm going to
just
tell you
happened?
that Elliot
Oh,
turned
did you think
14
you were
on Wednesday.
Did you think you were on Candid Camera?
I don't know.
You were being punked?
I was just so confused. Like, how do you... I thought... isn't that illegal? I don't get it. How did you...
So,
You're just like,
Elliot turns 14 on Wednesday, and there's a King of the Hill episode where Bobby is jealous of a friend who's having a bar mitzvah. And so he's like, what do white boys who are 14 get? Sweet 14-os. So we're having a Sweet 14-o party for Elliot on Wednesday.
Why did I get a sweet 14-o? That's epic. I just...
Sweet 14.
Yeah,
so
I just don't
anyway.
understand. They just like King of Hill, and I was like, "What do you mean, King of Hill?"
Wait, do you have 14-o? What can we do? What kind of cake? Is that like a 14-o cake?
Yeah, it's a huge fortune cookie.
A fortune cookie cake.
There you go.
All right,
so,
so
yeah.
what is it like having one daughter?
Thank goodness, first of all.
Yeah, so Emily, unfortunately, I had my own struggles when they were little. They were all, they were 3.5 years apart. So it was tough. So I decided that I was going to raise, I won't say only I. We decided we were going to raise Emily and Ethan as twins. So as soon as Ethan got just a little bit like to Emily's like level, boom, they were twins. And so we made them do every milestones at the same time. That's when I started to take them to the pediatrician together. And then when Elliot came along, I raised them as triplets. And so even now still, it's carried over because Emily is almost 18 and doesn't have her license, but Ethan, they took driver's ed together, so they're getting their license together. To go back, the reason why I did all of that is because I wanted them to be super uber close as kids and as teenagers and as adults, because I was compensating because I was not close to my brother, and he passed away. And I used to tell them when they were little, sometimes I did it in not a nice way and said, hey, your sibling could die, and then what would you do? So there was a little bit of guilt there.
There could be some guilt involved.
And so I remember, but so Emily, I don't really consider her a girl.
Even though I am quite possibly the girliest girl. I do pageants. So I just kind of think she's just like this I'm one of the boys.
Yeah, we just raise them all as the triplet boys. But Emily would say she's a girly girl, but she's not. She doesn't I had to force her to wear makeup when she started high school. I remember saying, you're going to wear makeup the first month of your 9th grade year. And she was like, fine. And she did the bare minimum, and then she never wore it again.
Yeah, until last summer.
Last summer, yeah. And so then all of a sudden now she's into makeup and, all of this. And so, she's not super girly, and I'm happy about that, because she just gets to be, she's not pigeonholed into I'm a girl, I do whatever. So she goes hiking with the boys, she camps off the grid with the boys. I did have to force her to wear a bow, and I let her quit wearing bows when she was 12 because because she wasn't a girly girl.
You had no bows.
I remember I tried to be like one of the boys. I loved Pokemon and Beyblades when I was in elementary school.
Oh, Beyblades. That's a blast.
I was huge into Pokemon, and I remember all of 3rd grade, I only ate lunch with my guy friends, and we would just talk Pokemon, and she
was the only girl invitee to a friend's birthday party, Pokemon themed birthday party.
Yeah.
But as she's gotten older, she's a little girly. She's not super girly, but I'm happy with the amount of girliness, because
she's growing into her femininity.
Yes.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, she is. She's growing into herself. She's multifaceted, but when you see her all with complete hair and makeup, and she's on stage and she's in her big ball gown and she's, doing all that, she comes back to the room and she gets out all of that and puts, she wears, she's just jeans and t-shirt. So
she's the girl next door.
Yeah, I would say she is the girl next door. Yeah. So anyway,
that's interesting. That's a good. I know that's an interesting.
But it all came out of my laziness.
I love how
it stemmed from me being overwhelmed and lazy.
That's interesting. Now I know why
but
I am
they
the way I am.
are best friends. Mm-hmm. They are literally best friends, and so mission accomplished. I love it, and hopefully throughout their adult lives they'll stay close. Hope so.
I bet.
Well, and then what's the one thing I tell you, Charlotte? And I come in sometimes, I storm into your room, and I said, you have failed as a daughter because you have failed to alert me to certain things that are going on with my facial hair, and that you need to.
Yeah, I get
that is why you have a daughter. She needs to alert you to certain things.
Pulls out. She like.
I bring
the most non-noticeable thing. She's like, hey,
how could you let this happen?
I have this zit forming on my face. How could you not tell me? I was like, sis, I didn't see it. How was I up?
This is why you were in my belly for 9 months, 10 months, depending on who you're talking to. And I went through the pain for you to tell me when I have something that I need to take care of. Yes.
I don't get this. It's not.
This is truth.
It's truth. But I think it's really funny how Bim grew up with, like, her brothers, and she was all, like, Beyblade, Pokemon, her whole little childhood. But me, I would cry when I didn't have my princess dress. Like, I don't know. I was, like, a princess girl. But then I think, like, when I was mid-elementary school, I kind of went through that Pokemon Beyblade thing because I wanted to be like my older brother.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to like all the same things he did because he was so cool because he was older than me and he knew what he was doing.
Super smart.
Yeah, like Beyblade, I popped off with Beyblade. You gotta admit, like Beyblade.
Mm-hmm.
I just threw ours away. When
What?
we moved.
I think we have the arena still.
Wow, I'm sad. I was trying to.
Oh my
make a
gosh,
battle,
her whole childhood just went down the tubes.
I did.
Well, I do. She was a little bit girly because she pitched a royal crying fit when we were moving, and we realized we forgot her Barbie house in the attic.
What?
And she was like, "Oh,
worst
no,
mom
no,
ever.
no, this
Hashtag
can't
worst mom
happen."
ever.
Yeah. So once we had to go back to Texas to take care of some business, and Dan went to the attic and got it down, and I went to FedEx and sent it back. It was like $65 to send that thing back, and
I'm gonna give it to my daughter.
it's
that
in the
thing
basement
is...
now. and
Absolutely.
so-
I completely agree.
yeah.
We have a Thomas the Train set legit hidden away.
Emily-
that's going to go to be passed down. Not to you.
Oh,
You don't get none of that.
I don't want it.
Emily
That's
loved
Kara's thing.
Thomas the Train.
Thomas was legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas is legit. Thomas legit.
Oh,
Bags.
we could talk about the phone call I had that I just was astonished with. That they, with the repeating back my phone number, which I can't even say, but they said the double, it was
Oh my goodness.
She said, okay, so it was, I had to leave a number to call back. So I was calling a place with my job, and they said, okay, everybody's busy, leave your number. And so you input your number through the keypad. And the woman, says, here is the number that you have left to call back. And then it suddenly turned to some British accent. You have left 301 355, and I'm like, wait, double five?
That's not even close to her real number, so just
Double.
just letting y'all
It doesn't
know.
matter. I'm not going to say the last four, but 355. And
Why didn't they just say 55? Like that's just.
How do you computer program somebody to say, okay, if someone says 355, to say 355?
I feel like this.
I'm
so
shocked.
much
I was
work.
shooken.
That is
I was
sorcery.
I was
Oh, there's a
shooken.
bug.
Uh,
Oh, I don't want that bug.
Bug.
So anyway,
Bug.
I don't know why that was, because you said you
We
got
just
all
started
British.
talking a British accent.
Yes.
I want
We used to do that a lot.
Emily
Yeah,
did that because she watched Charlie and Lola. So that's where she learned it.
I want to ask: has there ever been like a time where Emily and I were together, and you were just like mad confused at what we were even saying or doing?
Present time excluded. Like,
Like right now, does that count?
yeah, I'm like, okay, I got to go back, or do I start?
So I
today?
remember. Oh,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
we're breaking up. So Jen, were you talking?
No,
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So Jen and I allowed Emily and Charlotte to have a school
night
day.
Oh, that's right.
School night
night
sleepover. School
sleepover.
night sleepover. School night
School night sleepover. School night sleepover.
And so-
2020.
Yep.
So Emily was, first of all, she was super shocked that I allowed it, but I slept over at people's houses all the time when I was in high school. That was a no big
It's okay.
deal for me, yeah. And so I was like really shocked that this was actually the first time that my kids have ever. But if you don't ask, you don't receive. So I keep all of my
Right,
secrets
always
there.
ask.
But so they promised that they would go to bed on time and they
And we
wouldn't
did.
be grumpy, and they did. So Yes, that
Very.
morning they woke up, and I wanted to make sure that Charlotte had something that she liked to eat, and
This was so nice.
yeah, so I made sure that she had some good breakfast, and I even drove them to Harris Teeter so she could get some carrots. Even though we had carrots in the refrigerator,
I asked Viv,
do
was like,
feed
"Do
my
you guys have
children
carrots?" And she
carrots.
goes, nah.
Whatever.
Well, we had like the big ones. Like
No, we had baby carrots.
We did?
Anyway. And so that morning, during breakfast, they were silently communicating while they were on their respective phones. But they were still communicating with looks and like weird like facial expressions, and I just remember like shaking my head and just walking out. Like, you people do that, and yeah, go get ready for school. But yeah,
Okay,
but
but
it's
I don't-
fun to watch them be ridiculous.
Yeah.
How are you not? Okay, I have something that confuses me about Emily. What she does is she wakes up, she goes downstairs and like packs her lunch and eats her breakfast. Then she goes back upstairs and then gets ready.
That's crazy.
What,
Yeah.
why don't you just do everything you need
That's
to do
backwards.
upstairs, then go downstairs and do everything you need to
Well,
do downstairs?
Okay,
She has self-diagnosed herself with OCD.
like wait.
And she's not. She's just weird.
She's just making sure
She's
she has
just-
something to
she's
eat.
just quirky,
Like,
and
that's
she
the
has
most
her
important
routines.
thing. Lunch is most important.
And the worst thing
so
in the
she
world
needs to
for
make sure.
Emily, the worst thing in the world for Emily is a disruption in schedule. You will see a mental breakdown take place if, we run out of Nutella for her chocolate chip pancakes. But now she's on to bagels. But anyway, that's a different story.
Okay,
so.
let me explain myself. So I am not one of those people where it's like in the mornings they're too queasy to eat. I am always hungry. So
And also, let me add that I do not get up and make this poor child breakfast. She makes her own breakfast.
I mean that's yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
She's old
Mama
enough.
Via.
She should.
So I like to eat in my pajamas because it's more comfortable. Because what if I have my nice cool school outfit on and I go downstairs and I eat like chocolate chip waffles with Nutella on top? Every single day, this is embarrassing, but I always manage to get like Nutella like around my mouth because I put so much on it, and so like it gets everywhere, and so I have to like make sure that it doesn't get on my school outfits. That's usually why I eat first. But yeah, I am able to bend my pinkies back 90 degrees because no, this is like into like.
It's disgusting.
This goes into like my self-diagnosis OCD. It's because
Show
like
Jen.
like
Jen's medical.
I
It's not normal.
I have to like fidget with something 24/7, and so like I'm always doing this, and then I also like flip my ear inside out. It's like weird
that's
stuff.
work
Like
mode.
I don't. Maybe I am just weird.
She just has ticks. I don't know.
Okay, so I found out Bim could bend her pinkies backwards during the fall show. We were doing a play. Yeah, we were sorry, that was stupid what I just said. And like I don't want to say, I don't know. The play it was boring. We were bored a lot of the time.
It was a boring play.
It was boring. So we would just be backstage when like they aren't working with us, and I just play with Bim's pinky. And I remember we were literally it's just like that.
Played with her pinky?
Yeah, like her
It's like-
bends. It's so funny. And we were literally in prayer circle, energy circle, and we were like so not into it. Like everyone was crying. I was just like, "Ha, Bim's pinky bends backwards." I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, has there ever been a time where you were confused about Bim and I?
No, I can't say. Well, no, I mean, you have peculiar. I just think you guys get each other on such a different level that it's cute and it's fun to watch, and I'm not gonna understand it because I didn't have that quirkiness, but I think you guys just get each other. So No, I haven't been.
I want Emily to fail next year so they can graduate.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Me too. Yes, I agree. I will fail.
You know what? I will.
That
skip it.
always.
I mean, she did have straight A's last 9
Yeah,
weeks,
I mean,
let's go
but
ahead
you
and
know.
go. But hey, it's
you-
pass-fail this time.
If you fail this semester and I skip a semester, we're on the same track. So
You could graduate early, and you could both graduate in December next year.
let's do
There
it.
you go. I agree. Let's do it.
Okay, I have one
Alrighty, guys.
more question. I have one more. What did you guys think when we said we wanted to start this podcast?
I was
honest,
not
be
surprised.
I
I
thought that was
not
the next.
surprised.
I wasn't surprised. I thought that was the next thing. That was your thing. That was your jam.
Did you think?
And I was hoping I could be the first guest.
And you guys are true.
You,
That's right.
you are, yeah. Yeah.
That's it. You guys were just like,
Yeah, I wasn't
whatever.
surprised. I was happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I supported it.
Because I listen to
100%.
podcasts.
Oh, every day. I listen to podcasts every day.
Are we your favorite podcast?
Well, you're the only podcast that I've ever reviewed. So.
Oh yeah, she reviewed us on iTunes, and like her name was totally not biased reviewer.
People are gonna think that's us. That just makes it more
I said
iconic.
it was. I even wrote it in lowercase, and I said that it was the best mediocre podcast I've ever heard.
Exactly.
Exactly. Because all of our descriptions end with BM&W probably present a mediocre podcast. But you guys wouldn't know that because no one reads the descriptions. Zero.
We
I
put so much effort into the
I love
description.
the description.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Yay.
So
we
put a
write
bunch
them
of
for somebody.
hashtags because that's what brings you up. So I listen to podcasts all the time when I'm walking the dogs every single morning. Every single morning I do that. But I'm medical, so. I listen
She's
to all
medical.
that.
I've saved y'all's podcast to be able to binge it because I like to binge podcasts.
A savor.
So
Binge and savor.
I
BNS.
really
Binge
just
and
started. So I do have some feedback for you, Charlotte, to be told at another time because I have some answers to questions.
Is
that
it-
you want to know about.
Insight. It's insight.
Yes.
I think it's. Are you talking about the SpongeBob thing? Or
Oh no, I was talking about the lint thing.
oh, the lint thing. Okay.
And then SpongeBob. She has watched SpongeBob. She just doesn't really remember. But I used that. I used SpongeBob to get her to eat her vegetables, and so she would just shovel anything into her mouth as long as she was watching SpongeBob. So that was how I got all the cauliflower in, and
She
all of
informed me
that.
that she made me stop watching it once I learned how to talk.
yeah, because I didn't want her to say stupid.
I'm still not.
They
allowed
get
to
in
say that.
trouble. They cannot say stupid. They cannot say hate. What else can't y'all say?
You know what?
Shut up.
Yo, they can't say shut up. They get their privileges taken
Hey,
away if they
hey,
say
Ben,
shut up
guess
to
what?
each other.
Guess what? Shut up. I can say it.
What?
I can say it. Shut up.
So
Shut up,
actually,
Bim.
Emily can say it if she's at your house because it's spend the night rules. It's wherever she is, she has to follow their rules.
I'm not
So,
gonna let her say
you
shut
know,
up.
She can.
I'm not gonna let her say it. Because you know dang well they're about to
Stupid.
be directed at me. Well, she's gonna
Wow.
talk to Jason.
Jason. Wow. All right,
Wait,
guys.
wait, 1 second. Can we talk about the name?
What name?
BMW.
The BM&W. Yeah. Can we talk about that? Because when Emily asked me, "Is this an okay name?" I went in a completely different direction, and I almost didn't allow it until she explained what it was going to be. Because she said, "When I say BM&W, what do you first think of?" And it wasn't a nice thing. So, anyway, yeah.
Are you talking about gut
yeah.
health?
No.
That's where my mind goes because that's what I do. Healthy
Yeah.
BMs.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm gonna go eat steak like a southern person.
Oh, that's a good Texas. That's a good Texas meal.
I'm gonna go eat I'm gonna eat crabs like a Maryland person.
Are you appropriating my culture?
Good job.
She's kidding. She'd never in a million years eat a crab.
Wow.
That's facts.
Bottom
Really called me
dweller.
out.
That's facts.
Bottom dweller.
Well, this has been fun. Thank y'all for inviting us to be on your
Yes,
Mother's Day
thank you.
podcast.
Of course, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank
Happy
you.
Mother's
Happy Mother's Day,
Day.
Michelle.
Happy Mother's Day.
Mother's Day, Jen.
Happy.
Happy